In this video, I will show you step by step 10 tips and tricks you need in CSS Flexbox to master the layouts. So let's get started. Hi everyone, my name is Saad, a self-taught programmer that is going to help you become a better programmer as well. The first thing we will look at is the display flex property in CSS. It is a powerful tool for creating flexible and responsive layouts with minimal code. With just one line, you can transform any HTML element into a flex container, enabling a simplified and efficient way to control the arrangement and behavior of its child elements. Let's take a look at the following example. I have a simple container-like element with 3 divs inside it. Each of them has a separate color to differentiate between them. Now, if I go and make the container element into a flex container, look what happens. It instantly becomes a flex container and its child elements automatically become flex items. The Flexbox model allows for easy alignment, spacing, and distribution of these items within the container. Whether you want them in a row or column, centered or spaced out, the flexibility offered by Display Flex simplifies the process of creating responsive and aesthetically pleasing layouts. This one-liner enhances the overall efficiency of web development by streamlining the management of layout structures. Ready for tip 2? We are diving into an awesome trick to change how things look. It is the flex direction property in CSS. It provides a straightforward way for you to control the arrangement of flex items either horizontally or vertically within a flex container. By default, the flex direction property is set to row, which arranges the flex items in a horizontal line. However, you can easily customize this behavior by changing the value of flex direction. If you take a look at the example we already have, we can change how the items are aligning by changing the direction of the flex in its parent container. As flex direction is a parent element property, by changing it to column, we can now easily change their alignment across the main axis, which is now running from top to bottom. Hold on. Tip 3 is next, and it's all about making your items sit just right. Don't miss it. It is the Justify Content property in Flexbox. The Justify Content property in CSS is a powerful tool for aligning and distributing flex items along the main axis of a flex container. With this property, developers can easily control the positioning of items, whether they should be at the start, end, center, spaced evenly between or around the container. In the same example, if I remove flex direction column and introduce Justify Contents property in it, with the value of space between, the value places the flex items with equal spacing between them along the main axis of the flex container. Other values for Justify Content include flex start, flex end, center, and space around, as it provides equal space around the items. The Justify Content property adds a layer of control, making it easier for you to create visually appealing and well-organized layouts by defining how space should be distributed between or around flex items within a flex container along the main axis. Tip 4 is cool. It's about making stuff align perfectly. Check it out. We talked about the main axis, but now we'll move on to the cross axis with align items. The align items property in CSS is a versatile tool for aligning flex items along the cross axis of a flex container, ensuring a consistent and aesthetically pleasing layout. This property allows you to control how items are aligned vertically within the container, offering options such as aligning items at the start, end, center, stretching them to fill the container, or aligning them based on their baseline. Now I'll use the same example but give the container some height, as we need space on the cross axis for the items to move. I'll replace the current value with the align items in the center. It is going to vertically center the flex items within the flex container along the cross axis. Other values for align items include flex start, flex end, stretch, and baseline, which is going to align the items based on their baseline. This property enhances the flexibility of Flexbox layouts by providing control over the vertical alignment of items, contributing to a harmonious and visually balanced design. You can easily adjust this property to achieve the desired vertical alignment for a more polished and consistent layout. Time for tip 5. We're at the halfway now. Now we're going to talk about a special thing that makes lines of items look good. If you are finding this video to be good, leave a like, comment, or consider subscribing to the channel. Now back to the video. It is going to be about align content. Align content is such a unique property that it combines the properties of align items as well as justify content. It is a valuable tool for controlling the spacing between multiple lines of flex items when they wrap, especially in situations where the flex container has more space than necessary for a single line of items. This property is particularly useful for creating responsive layouts, allowing you to manage the alignment of flex lines along the cross axis. I will change my code a little bit, as align content won't work with the current set of HTML code. row. I am also going to be making the height around 60 VH as to give the content some space to move around. Items are going to have a flex basis of 200 pixels. Now if I apply align content and give it any value, you will see how Flexbox treats each row as a flex item rather than take each individual box as a flex item. The align content space around line controls the spacing between those lines, distributing the available space evenly around each line. Other values for the align content property includes flex start, flex end, center, stretch, and space between. Using align content provides you with the responsive means of managing the layout of multiple lines of flex items, ensuring a visually appealing and well-spaced design as the layout adjusts to different screen sizes. Tip 6 is handy. It helps your design fit well on different screens. Let's do it. Now obviously we don't want the items to go along the main axis and keep on going without being responsive. That's where flex wrap comes in. The flex wrap property in CSS plays a crucial role in creating responsive designs by controlling the wrapping behavior of flex items within a flex container. When elements cannot fit on a single line due to limited space, flex wrap ensures that these items wrap to the next line rather than overflowing, preventing unwanted layout issues on smaller screens or devices. We use the same example, but I'll remove the align content property as well as the flex wrap property for now. I'll refresh the page and you will see that items are all congested onto one line. This is where the flex wrap property comes to play. Its default value is set to no wrap, but we will explicitly state that we want the flex item to wrap onto the new line. This is particularly useful for creating responsive layouts that adapt to different screen sizes or orientations. Without flex wrap, flex items would attempt to squeeze onto a single line, potentially causing overflow and a less than optimal user experience on smaller screens. With the inclusion of flex wrap, the layout becomes more flexible and adaptable, contributing to a more responsive and visually appealing design. Get ready for tip 7. Now we'll talk about flex grow. Even though it allocates available space proportionally to flex items, it should be used sparingly and not often. I will once again change the example to suit flex grow. In this example, the flex grow property is applied individually to each flex item within the inline style attribute. The values 1, 2, and 1 represent the growth factor for each item. The item with flex grow 2 will grow twice as much as the items with flex grow 1 when there is extra space available along the main axis. Shrinking time. Tip 8 is here showing you how to stop things from getting too small. When it comes to flex items, they can grow, but they can also have the ability to shrink. Similar to flex grow, the flex shrink property in CSS is essential for controlling the ability of flex items to shrink when the available space in the flex container is limited. By assigning a value to flex shrink, you can specify whether a flex item should shrink to fit the container or resist shrinking, preventing its content from being cut off. For this example, I will change the code once again, and you will see this particular box being squished in the remaining of the boxes. This is because of the flex shrink I have applied in my CSS code. Every other div has a flex grow and a shrink value of 1, but the other one has the value of 3. And also I have made the container to be of a specific width, so every other box is shrinking normally, but this box is shrinking 3 times as much as the other boxes. Size secrets in tip 9. It's about making things just the right size at the beginning. You will be using flex bases. The flex bases property in CSS is instrumental for controlling the initial size of flex items within a flex container. By assigning a value to flex bases, you can set the initial size of flex items, providing a foundation for the layout before the distribution of remaining space along the main axis. I have changed the code slightly to incorporate flex bases in the boxes. Now you can see in the browser that each item has its own specific size. Okay guys, we're almost done. Tip 10 is the finale, and it's a quick way to set up your whole layout. The last tip we will discuss is flex flow property in CSS. It is the shorthand property that combines the flex direction and flex wrap properties, allowing you to easily control the spacing between flex items and make the layout more visually appealing. I will change the example slightly. In this example, I have changed the flex direction and the wrap property to be in a single line, and the property I have used is called flex flow. It is the shorthand for setting the flex direction to row and the flex wrap to wrap, or no wrap in this case, ensuring that flex items are arranged in a single row without wrapping. These were the top 10 Flexbox tricks and tips. If you want to know what are the top 10 mistakes that people make while using Flexbox, watch this video.